Is turning advertising on its head. Getting your ad to be a hit on YouTube is now marketing's holy grail, and that means that viral marketing, as it's called, is all the rage. Steve Hargrave reports from London's Trafalgar Square, where a mobile phone company hopes it's come up with the next big thing.
Adverts used to be a simple case of, here's my product, please buy it. But now, well, it's got a whole lot more complicated. One of the most successful ads is this, the now famous scene of people dancing at Liverpool Street Station. It was put on TV, but more importantly, viewed more than 11 million times on YouTube.
Of course, in amongst all that excitement of people dancing, it's sometimes easy to forget that they are in fact trying to sell you mobile phones, aren't they? But when something like that works, well, companies are keen to do it again, which is why we're here in London's Trafalgar Square. Last night, thousands of people squeezed alongside Nelson's column for the ad men's attempt to follow up the dancing commercial. The goal, to make this look like lots of random people enjoying an impromptu karaoke session. The reality, well, obviously lots of actors told to look happy and hold mobile phones, while members of the public stand behind them hoping to get in shot. It's clever, and its creators say this is the future of advertising. By the way, watch out for the girl behind him.
You know, the rules have changed, and it's all really about engagement and finding a role in people's lives for a brand. And if you do that, then consumers will engage with you. They'll spend more time with you than they would have done with a traditional 30-second TV spot.
Nice dancing. Big publicity stunts aren't new, of course, from Gail Porter on the House of Commons to a scary giant Michael Jackson floating down the Thames. But the internet's opened up the notion that the public aren't just there to be talked at, they want to feel involved. In a way, they're helping to sell the product to themselves.
The main thing to make something work online is for it to offer its audience something. People don't have to spend their time with you, so if there's nothing for them to get out of it, if there's no fun or no humour or no story or no reward for them, then there's no reason for them to do that. Some of these things do that better than others.
A lot is riding on this ad being as successful as the last one. All this doesn't come cheap, of course, but as contrived as they actually are, viral campaigns do seem to work, and predictably, even celebrities jump on the bandwagon. Was this appearance by Pink a case of product placement overkill, or actually a rather sensible move by her PR team?
I think our generation is buying less and less records and more phones, and that's where music is, and you can watch YouTube on your phone at this point, so it's kind of the way of the future, and actually it's not even the future, it's now.
The advert will definitely reach an audience. They've already booked a slot smack bang in the middle of this week's Britain's Got Talent. The question is, will people then go out and buy a mobile phone, or just smile once and get on with their lives? Steve Hargrave, Sky News.
I'm joined now by Daniel Booth, Deputy Editor of Web User Magazine. How effective do you think this is then?
I think they can be incredibly effective. I think the big thing really is that people put a lot of personal investment into these adverts. Everybody who's going to be recording it on their mobile phone will then go online and then post that video to other people. And this kind of word of email, word of mouth campaign can spread like wildfire on the web.
Is it only going to work for some products, though?
I think so. Those that are technologically savvy, such as T-Mobile, are incredibly good at using the internet. I can't really see it working for a baked beans company.
No, that's point, and it's quite young, isn't it, as well?
Yes, it's about grabbing the zeitgeist that's exciting the youth at that moment in time. And so, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect that last night there were many 50-year-olds really excited at the prospect of appearing in the T-Mobile advert. But then they're probably not the target audience for T-Mobile.
The other thing that strikes me is it's almost like it's sort of underground advertising, and the minute it comes above ground, it kind of loses its impact.
I think this second advert might dilute the impact a little bit, yeah, but this guerrilla advertising kind of works under the radar a little bit, and then it kind of spreads, and eventually it just explodes on the internet.
I don't particularly wish to advertise individual products, but which ones have you been impressed by?
Well, this T-Mobile one was incredibly clever because it just managed to involve so many people, and the way that it was shot at Liverpool Street was just so well executed. I think it managed to create that sense of a kind of a fake authenticity really well.
And they're not expensive either, I suppose.
Well, I imagine,
compared to conventional adverts involving movie stars or something.
I think they must be quite expensive to set up and to actually pay the dancers and the actors and people like that. I think what they do very well is to look like it's kind of spontaneous and authentic, but there's so much planning that goes into it, and I think they managed to fake that spontaneity wonderfully well.
Where do you think web advertising goes from here? What's your crystal ball feeling?
I just think it'll become far more clever and far better at worming its way into individual lives and becoming far more subtle, so you're not quite sure whether something is an advert, something is just a promotional video or something that's just being created by somebody in their bedroom, and it takes you hours and days to work out if something's actually trying to sell you something, and that increases your involvement that much more.
Aren't there kind of legal issues then?
In what sense?
Well, certainly with a TV advert, you know, there are very strict rules about what is an advert and whether it's dressed up as actually a programme.
I think on the internet, it's such a wild west of laws and rules at the moment. There's a lot of precedent still to be set. So I think there's lots of grey areas.